all over this country, but especially in the states of the old Confederacy, Republicans are doing everything they can to suppress the votes of those in groups which traditionally and overwhelmingly vote for the opposing party, the Democrats. 99 bills have been introduced in 31 states attempting to, in some way, restrict access to voting and registration. Most common is voter ID, which Republicans have dishonestly claimed is needed due to widespread voter fraud. In the 4 years studied, in-person voter fraud happened once every 32 million votes. Yes, you are 237 times more likely to be struck by lightning. Republicans have purged voter rolls, denied the right to vote to former felons who have paid their debt to society, restricted early voting, and Sunday voting in particular, a blatant attempt to suppress the black vote specifically. They've closed down or moved polling places in communities of color and passed laws like Georgia's No Match, No Vote, which has been shown overwhelmingly to hurt minority voters, people of color mostly. This year, we've seen additional efforts by Republicans to suppress the vote, some of which are truly disgusting. One lawmaker tweeted out incorrect voting information, telling Democrats that their day to vote was 2 days after the election. For the second election in a row, Congressman Lee Zeldin of New York sent out a mailer telling voters that the deadline for absentee ballots was 2 days after the actual deadline. Having been called out for this same infraction 2 years ago, this can hardly be unintentional. These stories are popping up everywhere. In Washington state, conservatives started a fake progressive PAC and sent out professional-looking mailers telling people that the various Democrats on the ballot weren't progressive enough and that people should write in another progressive candidate instead. They even did their research in terms of providing known write-in candidates who were, in fact, more progressive than the various Democrats running. The attempt here is obvious: to split the Democratic vote and hand the election to the Republicans. At this point, no one should be surprised. Of the two major political parties in America, only one, the Democratic Party, even pays lip service to the idea of a government of, for, and by the people. Keeping voters from the ballot box has been a Republican strategy for nearly 40 years.
I don't want everybody to vote. Elections are not won by a majority of people. They never have been from the beginning of our country, and they are not now. As a matter of fact, our leverage in the elections, quite candidly, goes up as the voting populace goes down.
That was Paul Weyrich, one of the founders of the modern conservative movement, speaking in 1980 to a group we now call evangelicals. Republicans aren't stupid when it comes to voting. They know that when turnout is high, they lose, and they know that when turnout is low, they win. So these voter suppression tactics will continue, getting more and more desperate and ugly as the demographics swing less and less in their favor. Until Democrats can take back the state houses and state legislatures, which are granted the power to run state and federal elections by our Constitution, there will only be one remedy. Don't let the Republicans keep you from voting. Don't do it. Just jump through whatever hoops you have to jump through. But do not, under any circumstances, let them take from you your right to cast a ballot. And for heaven's sake, don't stay home on Election Day. Get up, get out, and do your civic duty. If you don't have a good reason to vote, do it for me, because I am literally begging you at this point. Oh, and to be fair, don't forget to tell your Republican friends to get out and vote too. That's only fair, right? That's November 8th for them. What's good for the donkey is good for the pachyderm, right?